Welcome to the latest episode of B6 and Beyond, and I have a special guest with me today. We've got Alex Miller from West Ham Fan 86 on TikTok. Alex, are you available on any other channels? You on YouTube?
Not so much on YouTube at the moment. Same handle on Instagram though, and available on X as well. But yeah, mostly I'm on TikTok.
I can fully vouch for Alex, by the way. I've seen a lot of his content, so I fully recommend if you want to go and watch other football content, I highly recommend go and watch Alex's stuff. He talks very, very well about West Ham. So we are here for a B6 transfer watch, and specifically to talk about Lucas Paqueta. Being an Aston Villa fan, I don't have a perfect insight to Lucas Paqueta, so I thought, what is the next best solution? Let's find an expert to speak about Lucas Paqueta. So thankfully, Alex has agreed to jump on and give us the breakdown and everything Lucas Paqueta. So hand over to you, Alex. Who is Lucas Paqueta, and what is he as a footballer, and what should we expect if this transfer does materialise?
Well, I mean, he joined us a couple of seasons ago. Quite a bit of money. I think it was 45 million plus add-ons at the time, like 52 million euros. And he has been a very much up and down player. Obviously, it's been widely recorded all the stuff that's happened with him over the last 2 seasons, everything that went off the pitch. Thankfully, that's all now behind him. He was cleared of all that in his first season. Very, very good performances. I mean, he's very good on the ball. Very difficult to get off the ball. He's got a lot of tricks up his sleeves. Being a Brazilian, he does that quite a lot. He likes those intricate balls, trying to play those very specific balls through to the attackers. But it has been a little bit inconsistent over the last 2 seasons. Obviously, he played a big part in our Conference League final. He played that ball through to Jared Bowen for that winner in the last minute. So yeah, we do love him, and yeah. He's a player that I would say that on his day, unplayable, absolutely brilliant. But there are some games where you get so ridiculously frustrated with him because of some of the things he tries, some of the overacting, so to speak, sometimes that I know annoys a lot of other fans when we're playing against him. It also really frustrates us as well, especially when he does it and then it costs us because he is doing it. And we have seen him do that a few times. But I still stand by that. On his day, he is unplayable. When he is playing at his very best, he's absolutely brilliant. He will chase back. He'll track back. He can make a challenge. He loves getting stuck in. Yeah, he does pick up a lot of bookings because he can be a little bit rash sometimes. But no, I think he is a brilliant player. Who has had a really tough time over the last couple of years, who I was really hoping that we would see for the remainder of the season, see him get back to his best, because, yeah, he was brilliant in our first season, and we've seen little snippets of it over the last couple of seasons, but because of everything that was hanging over his head, we feel like that had an impact on his ability a little bit.
That does make sense, to be fair, because to be fair to him, he has had a lot hanging over his head with the potential charges and all the potential ban. So you can imagine that naturally have an effect. We did see the best and the worst of Paqueta, I would say, against Aston Villa last season. So we had the game in the FA Cup, and I don't think he was very good that game, and he was falling over quite a lot that game, if I remember quite rightly. But then the league game, which we drew, if I remember rightly, and he scored, I'm sure he did, and he was.
I think he did, yeah.
He was fantastic that night, to be fair.
He was.
I distinctly remember saying, well, I gave him a bit of jip on TikTok, as you do. And then that's final last words, weren't it? And he popped up with a goal. And so that's kind of how the cookie crumbles.
Yeah, so, I think in the game in the FA Cup, I think it was the game in the FA Cup, because I remember I was there at the time. It was one of the things that frustrated us about him was he went down a little bit too easily and was complaining about going down, and because he was down, there was one less player in the box, and then you ended up scoring. And we've seen that happen a few times. But yeah, no, in the other game in the league, he was brilliant. He was absolutely brilliant. And like I say, sometimes you'll watch him and just think he's just a world class player, but we just haven't seen that enough over the last couple of seasons. But I feel like there has been reasons for that.
this has been actually quite refreshing, because what you're saying here is kind of how I feel. So to hear it from, the horse's mouth, hear it from West Ham fans' mouth, that's how I perceive him. I perceive him as someone who, on his day, is unplayable. He's a world class player, but he has been very inconsistent, and that is what worries me. Now, with Unai Emery, if he wants a player, I will back him to the absolute hills. The man is a god for Aston Villa fans. Dragged us from 17th to the Champions League, so he's got so much credit in the bank. So if he wants a footballer, then Unai, you go and set your man. So where do you think this is going to happen? Because obviously now we're seeing it from a lot of journalists that are more respected journalists. So, you've seen Fabrizio Romano, who I don't necessarily think is the be all and end all, but from a Villa perspective, we've seen Jacob Tanswell from the Athletic report it, who's very reliable, and also John Townley from the Birmingham Mail he said it as well. Has there been any further leaks from this morning down in London regarding potential exit of Lucas Paqueta?
Well, the news has been all day. I mean, the first few leaks were coming from someone from the Athletic, where an agent has said it's possible he doesn't play in our game tomorrow, which then I think the journalist made the assumption that he was refusing to travel and that he didn't want to play. Now that has since been proven wrong, because he has travelled. He is on his way to Nottingham, and as far as I know, he will be available to play tomorrow unless anything does happen. Now, through the whole summer, because of the betting scandal and the delay in getting that charge, we didn't really know what was going on, and it came so late. We thought that any chance of him going was probably off the cards at that point, but we always knew that there was a price. There was a price for him. If West Ham got that fee, then they would be open to letting him go. And while he wasn't actively looking for a move, he hasn't been actively looking for a move. I think he is actually very professional in this whole saga. Even when he was linked to Manchester City a couple of seasons ago, and this was literally a week before the whole betting scandal came out. He was linked with a move to Man City, and he said to David Moyes, "Can I not play in this game in our first game of the season against Bournemouth?" And Moyes said, "I really could do with you. Could you play?" And he said, "Yeah, fine, I'll play. Just take me off as soon as you possibly can." He didn't take him off. He did. He played the whole game, and he actually ended up getting a yellow card in like the 94th minute in that game, which was one of the yellow cards he was being investigated for, which is probably one of the reasons he got off, because of that whole story where he wasn't meant to be playing in that game in the first place, because he asked not to play and he asked to be subbed off. So if he didn't expect to be playing and he didn't expect to be on, why would he deliberately pick up a yellow card at that point? So that was just one of the that's the story that just sticks in my head. So he, even if he was looking for a move, he may ask not to play tomorrow, but if Potter sits down and says to him, "I could do with you," he probably would say yes, because he's not that kind of player. And because of everything he's been through over the last couple of seasons, I think he does feel some sort of loyalty to West Ham, because West Ham have really supported him over the last 2 years. The fans have been backing him, while so many other fan bases or people were just making assumptions about him, as West Ham fans were backing him and believing in him. So it does feel a little bit of loyalty to West Ham.
So he should as well.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's his career. If West Ham are happy to let him go because we have received what we want for him, he's open. He's open to the move. Belongs. West Ham do get what they want. What we want is around 60 million. Apparently, is that what the deal is? Is that what it's going to take to get him? I don't know. At the end of the day, David Sullivan is not the most trustworthy person in the world. We don't like him. We don't want him. He said that we wouldn't accept anything under 75 million from Mohamed Kudus. And he went to Tottenham for 55. So, yeah, I think there is the possibility for a deal to be done. But we feel like it needs to be that Villa are paying is a permanent deal that Villa are paying. So we have that money coming in, so we can at least try and get a replacement. And I do think we have a couple of names in mind. There's been a couple of players that we have been linked with all summer that are still at the clubs that that we would get him from. So if we did get the money in, and I think one of them in particular, I think Harvey Elliott of Liverpool, I think he was always being eyed up as Lucas Paqueta's replacement, and he is still there. Now, I don't know if that would happen or not, but it's just one of the names that has come up. And if we sold Paquetá and we managed to get Harvey Elliott, I don't think a lot of West Ham fans would be overly upset with that personally, because it's a younger player who offers something a little bit different.
I think I would rather have Harvey Elliott, to be honest with you, if I had my choice personally.
Yeah, so. But I mean, I don't know if that's still the case. I don't know. I haven't heard that from any official channels whatsoever. I just know that we were very interested in him, and he is still at Liverpool. So it just is the obvious thing in my mind if that happens. But if it's a deal where it's like a loan with an obligation, I can't see how that is positive for West Ham whatsoever. I don't see how that helps us out. It doesn't give us the ability to raise the funds to be able to go and get a firm-in replacement unless we can get a similar deal done with someone where we get a loan with an obligation to buy next season. But these things take some time to get done sometimes, and there's not a lot of time left. So it is not the ideal time at all for this news to be coming up. It really isn't, but I do think that there is a possibility that he could, if Villa and West Ham can come to some kind of agreement, which I don't know.
I don't see how it could be anything other than a loan with an obligation to buy because of our financial situation. Obviously, that's been widely publicised that Villa are absolutely on our backside, should we say, with PSR, SCR, whatever we want to call it. It's all just an absolute minefield, to be honest with you. I don't know how it works because I read the other day, you might know better than me, if we do a loan with an obligation to buy, that affects your accounting year directly from when that deal's signed, because it is an obligation and contractually you are actually buying that player. If it was a loan with an option to buy, it wouldn't, and then that would go into the next accounting year. But because you've acted and put a contract in place for the obligation from that season, it will basically go into this financial year. But with Paquetá, it's 28, isn't it?
20. I actually think he's a bit young. I think it's like 26, 27. I can't be sure. I know it was his birthday yesterday, so I don't know how old he turned. So he might have turned 28.
Yeah,
possibly.
He's just turned 28.
Ah, right, yeah. So yeah, it was 27. He just turned 28.
Oh, bloody hell. Alex, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but live on this channel, we have a breaking news. Aston Villa are closing in on Lucas Paqueta deal with West Ham, £47 million package, including loan fee, obligations by and add-ons for Fabrizio Romano.
47 million.
Yeah.
Loan obligation.
He said loan fee, obligation to buy, and add-ons, so the whole package will be 47 million. Sorry to drop that one on you. Aston Villa fans, we have breaking news. Lucas Paqueta is signing for Aston Villa.
Is it an actual here we go? Yeah.
Yeah, here we go. It says here we go, expected soon. I don't know how well you can see that.
Well, he's not too. He's up in Nottingham, so he's not too far from Villa now, is he?
And to be fair, Fabrizio Romano has had a few where he's got them wrong. So
this is fair. No, this is actually quite fair. He's got quite a bit wrong this summer, hasn't he?
He has.
He has. It's very unlike him. So I'm not saying he is wrong. And I told you, I wouldn't be surprised when it comes to David Sullivan. I would not be surprised. I feel like everything we just talked about now is all over the shop because of that news. Christ alive. It is a little bit. Yeah. I don't know. Didn't expect to be taking this news live on it.
Right. Alex, it's been a pleasure. I think we'll look to end the episode there because I'm pretty sure you probably want to jump on your channel and do some content on this because you're probably not happy with your owners. And I'll just reiterate, as Villa fans, we don't particularly like your owners, and that's more so because of their past relationship with our cross-rival city rivals, Birmingham City. But yeah, Alex, thank you so much for coming on, and I do apologise for breaking that news live to you.
Yeah, you bastard. No, that's all right. I need to go do some. I need to go do some research myself. I'm sure. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of talk in my WhatsApp groups. So
Oh, very much
I'll
so. It's been a
go and
pleasure.
have a nosy. Get some read of it. Anyway, yeah.
Football
Cheers
fans,
for having me
make
on.
sure to drop
Appreciate that.
make sure to drop Alex a follow because I promise you won't regret it. His stuff, even though I'm a Villa fan, I like other football content. His West Ham stuff is absolutely fantastic. Alex, thank you again, mate. Top man.
No worries. Thank you. Cheers.